Undercover boss buys a truck at his own dealership, then freezes when he hears a customer behind him. The rich scent of motor oil mixed with the crisp, unmistakable aroma of fresh leather as David Reynolds made his way through the gleaming showroom of Reynolds Auto. Every polished vehicle, every flickering overhead light, every detail of this place was familiar. It was, after all, the dealership he had painstakingly built from nothing. Years of sweat, strategy, and sacrifice had transformed it into one of the most trusted names in town. Yet today, he wasn't here as the boss. Dressed casually in a well-worn baseball cap and faded jeans, David wasn't the CEO of Reynolds Auto today. He was just another customer, a man on the hunt for a reliable truck. For years, he had immersed himself in the world of numbers, marketing reports, and quarterly projections. He had overseen expansions, approved advertising campaigns, and managed bottom lines. On paper, everything was thriving. But somewhere along the way, he had lost sight of something crucial, the heart of his business, the people. And that's why he was here, undercover. Walking into his own dealership as just another buyer, he wanted to experience what his customers felt, the service, the environment, the people running the place. He needed to see if his business had become a cold, profit-driven machine, or if it still carried the warmth he had envisioned when he first opened its doors. A young, eager salesman, Jake, spotted him and approached with a friendly smile. "Looking for a truck today, sir?" David nodded, playing the role. "Yeah, I need something solid, reliable, something that's gonna last." Jake gestured toward a sleek navy blue pickup, its chrome trim gleaming under the showroom lights. "This one's got it all: power, endurance, and a rock-solid warranty. You won't regret it." David liked Jake almost immediately. No aggressive sales tactics, no fake enthusiasm, just genuine confidence in the vehicle he was offering. As they spoke, David took the opportunity to observe. Employees were busy assisting customers. Laughter echoed from a group near the coffee station, and the entire dealership carried an air of ease, camaraderie, and professionalism. This wasn't just a place that sold cars. It was a community. As Jake guided him through the financing options, something unexpected happened. A hesitant voice spoke up behind them. "Excuse me, sir." David turned and was met with the sight of a middle-aged man. His face was worn with years of hard work, his hands calloused and rough. He held a small, crumpled envelope tightly in his grasp. His flannel shirt was slightly faded, and his boots had seen better days. Beside him stood a teenage boy, shifting awkwardly, his expression a mixture of hope and uncertainty. The man cleared his throat, as if nervous to even ask. I overheard you talking about trucks. I was wondering, are you planning on trading yours in?" David frowned slightly, curious. That was the plan. "Why?" The man sighed, glancing at his son before looking back at David. "My name's Tom. This here's my son, Dylan. He just got accepted into college, a few towns over. I work in construction, and, well, my old truck finally gave out last week." His voice wavered slightly as he continued. "I've been saving up, looking for something used, but..." He hesitated, rubbing the back of his neck. "Times are tight. And let's be honest, dealerships don't always have the best deals for folks like me." David glanced at Dylan, who stood tall beside his father. There was pride in his stance, but a flicker of worry in his eyes. David exhaled slowly. Something about this moment felt different. A test, maybe. A reminder. "Tell you what," David said, his voice even. "Let's see what we can do." Tom shook his head quickly. "I appreciate it, sir, but my credit's not great. And even the cheapest truck here is more than I can afford." David smiled, his decision already made. "Let me worry about that." Before Tom could argue, David turned to Jake. "Remember that pre-owned F-150 from last week? Low miles, still in great shape." Jake hesitated for a second before nodding. "Yeah, it's out on the lot." "Good. Show it to them." Jake led Tom and Dylan outside. The moment they were gone, David pulled out his phone, dialed his general manager, and spoke in a low but firm voice. "Take care of whatever paperwork is needed. But listen to me. Make sure that man leaves with a truck today. And don't let him pay a single cent. Minutes later, Jake returned, his face unreadable. His voice was quiet but full of emotion. "Tom's in tears. He's never owned a truck that wasn't on its last leg." David nodded, watching from a distance as the father and son stood beside the F-150, stunned. Disbelief, gratitude, and pure joy were written all over their faces. At last, David took off his cap and sighed. "Jake, there's something I need to tell you." Jake raised an eyebrow. "What's that?" David met his gaze and said it plainly. "I own this place." Jake's eyes widened. "Wait, you're David Reynolds, the owner?" David chuckled.
"Yeah.
"But today, I was just a customer." He glanced back at Tom and Dylan, taking in the sight of a father hugging his son beside their new truck. "I needed this. A reminder that this business isn't just about numbers and sales. It's about people. And sometimes, doing the right thing is more important than making a profit." Jake swallowed hard, nodding. "You're a good man, Mr. Reynolds." David shook his head.
No.
"I just lost my way for a while, but I think I'm finding it again." As Tom shook his hand, overwhelmed with gratitude, and Dylan stood beside him, his eyes shining with something more than appreciation, David understood. This was why he had started it all. Not for the money, not for the empire, but for moments like this. Because sometimes kindness changes everything.